we grew, and they brought in 3 trailers across the street on Ferry Road. So I went into one of the trailers for staff services, and the second trailer was the computers, and the first trailer was the business office. We stayed there for a few years, and it was quite interesting. They had hundreds and hundreds of teachers coming in to interview for positions at the college.
I arrived on Ferry Road, and there is this big, beautiful building there. And I walked in and I asked the young lady, which offices are the College of DuPage? And I got the cutest or sweetest smile you've ever had in your life. And she says, turn around, point out. She said, do you see those 3 trailers out in the cornfield? That's the College of DuPage.
My office the first year was in the Park Boulevard farmhouse, which is no longer there. And it had a coal furnace. So every morning you'd have to come in and wipe down, in the winter, you'd have to wipe down your table and your desk before you could sit down and work. There were probably 15 of us in that park farmhouse. And we had a good time.
This is 1970. There were 13 faculty members in one office, and it was a long, flat building. And you had a little cubby hole to meet and greet students. That was good in a way, because there were 13 faculty members who saw each other all the time. There were no closed doors. And we got to know people. And we got to know people from different disciplines. And I remember there was an art teacher in there was a humanities teacher in there was history was in there, English was in there. And so you communicated with these people. You saw them coming and going. You could hear parts of their conversations and things like that. So nobody complained. We knew they were building buildings for us.
I drove up to the college and just saw these metallic buildings squatting on what looked like farmland. And it was rather surprising, as to what am I getting myself into?
We were in these funny little square buildings over on the West Campus. There were 3 of them, imaginatively named K, J, and M. And they all had a center open space and offices and classrooms around the perimeter. So we were all kind of crammed into a lot of small spaces, which was, I found that to be a really exciting time.
A lot of the professors shared an office that was probably 8 by 8, and they had a desk on either side and a chair, and that was sufficient. They got to know one another quite well.
Our early offices, desk, desk, chair, chair. So if you were both sitting there, one had to really suck it in and push in for the other one to get out. There was a lot of just, this is new, we're going to experiment, let us know what works, what doesn't. And everybody seemed to thrive.
At one point, I was in an office with another woman. It was about a 10 by 10 office, and big desks, and we each had a chair on rollers, and only one of us could stand up at a time. We'd have to ask the other person to push in so we could get out of our chair. So if you can imagine but we could work that way, and we did.
One of our speech teachers shared an office with a biology teacher, and he had an experiment going with fruit flies, which happened to escape one day from someplace in his office.
I snapped the light on, and my fellow English teacher was sitting there, and he goes, shh, what? I look on his desk, and there's his daughter, who was about 2 months old. His wife also was a teacher at another community college, and Hal had office hours, and he was going to bring Hillary to the office hours. And it was, Hillary, by the way, is now a doctor. But there was that kind of atmosphere.